Welcome back to an episode of Wrestling Around. And this week we are covering Survivor Series 2001 because apparently it's been 20 years since, and I genuinely remember this at the time, which makes me feel really, really old. But before we get into that, joining me is the world-renowned Lou Markham. Lou, how are you doing?
I'm very well, Ross. How are you?
I'm good. It's just us today. Jay Peters can't be asked, and Aaron is missing again. I think he's been kidnapped by his in-laws.
2 days in a row. How's this happening? Let's get out on a Monday, then on a Wednesday as well. What's going on?
Outrageous.
What is going on?
Somebody call the police. No, don't. He's actually fine. I've heard from him. He's cool. Terry Peters and him, and a couple of them for many reasons. But no, it's just us. We're doing Survivor Series 2001. Invasion, 20 years. The end of the invasion, we did the actual, what we perceived was the death of the WCW last week with New Blood Rising. And this is the definitive end of WCW, isn't it?
This was the cremation.
This was the character. But Luke, I believe you've had an interesting day today.
Well, Russ, I don't know a lot about nature when I was a parent, so I thought, it's become a weird tradition where the Friday before a Big Four pay-per-view, sorry, we're recording this on a Friday.
Yeah,
I go for a long walk. I did it in January, then I did it for Royal Rumble, and I did it before WrestleMania, and then by the time it got to SummerSlam, I was like, I've made this a thing now. So like 2 days before, I booked the day off just so I could do it. So I was like, right, I'll do it for Survivor Series as well. But I thought this time I would go and have a nice little walk around St. Aidan's Nature Reserve, RSPB Reserve, in Leeds. Forgetting that, of course, it's the winter. Vast majority of the birds have migrated south. Not a lot there.
That is an issue.
Not a lot there. I did see a flock of geese actually departing.
You got to see them then.
I couldn't get my camera out in time. And then there was some sort of peregrine falcon that everyone was. There's a lot, because obviously it's a Friday. There's just a lot of old men with the cameras. And weirdly, I don't know if this is a thing that they're doing or they've escaped, but there's a lot of sheep on there. So I don't know if they're thinking the birds have gone, let's let the sheep, kind of graze there, or if the sheep have escaped and they all wanted to die out at the bird reserve and they're having the same issue I was having.
Maybe someone left the gate up and all sheep escapes.
Yeah, it was because it's like a marshland. It's like an old quarry. And I was disused mine quarry type area. There's still some of the old equipment now, which is pretty cool. But yeah, there's just a bunch of sheep hanging around there as well. So I don't know what that was.
I was once driving home from a night shift, middle of the night. Somebody obviously left the gate open. There was lots of pigs on the road. But when it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, or a bit earlier than that, it was about 5 o'clock in the morning, extremely tired. It was the strangest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
genuinely.
Did you just have to wait for the
about 50 pigs? I just sort of edged through them. A beat. Birds flew off, so but they just won't move. Yeah, but you don't wait one, do you? Because
I'm not used to the countryside. I remember driving somewhere with my friend, and we're in the Ribble Valley, behind Skipton, and we went around a corner, and just fucking sheep was just there on the road, just staring at us. You just don't see it. Yeah, you just don't imagine it, do you?
I had a friend as well who same road. Wrote off his car because he hit a dead badger. Somebody had already hit the badger.
At least it was already dead. So
it was in the middle of the road. Genuinely wrote off his car.
You've just got the frustration, not the guilt, haven't you? How big's the badger?
Fairly big. His exact words were to me. I said, "Hey, right, mate." I didn't know. Saw him in the morning. Yeah. And he was like, "No, I'm not all right." I was like, "Oh, what's up?" He went, "Hit a fucking badger, wrote my car off."
Yeah.
And then he went, "Never even seen a fucking badger before."
Yeah, I don't think I have actually.
So his first
I've got no further effort. I've got no further efforts on how big a badger is. Are we sure the badger was dead before?
So that's what he said. I don't know. Yeah. Is it a badger? It was 10 years ago. It's definitely dead now. Yeah. He was livid. It's absolutely destroyed the underside of his car. So it must have been pretty big.
Yeah.
Nature. The Survivor Series 2001. Hugh, shockingly, I've never seen this before.
No, literally, I've never seen it because it would. WWF had gone off Channel 4 by this point.
Yeah.
So I had to just Google the result.
Important, though. One of the most important things should have been. I enjoyed it, though. I mean,
at the time, it felt like a big deal.
I loved the pay-per-view.
I was.
Still
I'm not gonna
thought it
lie,
was a
Ross.
big deal.
As a big WCW fan, I couldn't help but feel very underwhelmed.
Yeah,
But I think that's from seeing it as a jaded man. Is fair to say.
I still love it. I think it still holds up.
I think if I was young, I would have loved it. But I think it's more the context I didn't like. I'll just get to it right now. DDP in a fucking battle royal. You haven't laughed.
Right, yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We will get to that. But I mean, everyone slags off Invasion. I'm sure it wasn't what it could have been, but I enjoyed it, and I've watched 2001. I think 2001 is my most watched. 2001 my most watched things on the network. And I'm still enjoying it.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching it. It was interesting. I was just a bit on the. It was when you think this is the final. WCW had a very sad, long, drawn out end. Is what I'll say.
But we'll get to that later. So it was on November 18th, 2001. It was at the Greensboro Coliseum Complex in Greensboro, North Carolina. 10,000 people there. The spiritual home of WCW. Starcade was like 4 or 5 years in a row.
Do you think they did that on purpose?
I don't know. They must do, because Vince is just a big lolzer, isn't he? You know what I mean? Vince loves the lols.
Yeah, I mean, given that, how the show ended, like the final shot, I would say.
Because, because it's one of them minutes where probably calculated, but the failed attempt of relaunching WCW with Buff Bagwell and Booker T.
Yeah, Buff was long gone by this point, wasn't he?
They did that in Washington.
Yeah.
And the next week later, there was in like Georgia or something. So
yeah, they were in Atlanta the week after, aren't they?
Yeah.
But Bruce Pritchard was like, well, if you can't get over there, it needs to get over everywhere. But
you should have introduced them.
You've got to give it a shot, haven't you? It's like AEW debuting CM Punk in Chicago. Like, sure, they could have debuted him in like Miami and it'd been cool, but it was better because it was in Chicago. Like,
and everyone went mental, so he looked like a big deal.
Yeah.
Makes
sense that you got to do it on location, haven't
you? I imagine you give like a little yelp of excitement. So what would these people eating and drinking?
Oh, that's what they're eating. Well, so it's not like some of the other places where there's different eateries. You just the same menu items at all the concession stands. Snacks, you got your French fries, cookies, nachos, popcorn, salted peanuts, soft pretzels, muffins, Danishes, and nutty Bavarian roasted nuts.
Ooh, that's nothing. Well, I should up the nutty, the roasted nuts.
Beverages, you've got it's Pepsi and Diet Pepsi, but we won't, at least it's not Dr. Pepper, so we won't hold that against them. You get wine, alcoholic beverages. But the entrees, right, barbecue sandwich, straight off the bat, sounds good. Philly cheesesteak.
Oh,
you're watching the wrestling, you're watching the grab, you're having a Philly cheesesteak, amazing.
Delicious.
Chicken strips with fries, always a classic if you don't know what else to get.
Nice to have, though. I think sometimes that's what you want, picking
and your classic hot dogs, hamburgers. Slide in there burrito, hammer burrito, pizza, and fresh carb sandwiches.
I mean, it's one of them places I'd love to go see, but I'm only going to go to America for WrestleMania. So
you're very unlikely to visit North Carolina, aren't you?
Yeah.
I like the fact now that they're doing like SummerSlam in like Nashville, because they never do WrestleMania in Nashville.
No, I would like them to do WrestleMania in North Carolina and then have the takeover at Greensboro Coliseum, could have all the history, couldn't you? And that. Don't think they will, but I would like that.
No, so you're not going to go across to the Starcade house show?
Yeah, I don't think I am at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just a thing.
Yeah, I never even clocked that it was at the spiritual home of Starcade.
Well, if you go on the Wikipedia page, I'm not even asked that nobody's going to be there. That's all. We didn't get we get a history of the WWF video package to the end song. I think they also used in Randy Orton and
it became the de facto Armageddon, and they also used it when the NWO debuted in WWF. Right. I love it though. I think it's well good. One of Jim Johnson's best creations. He's had a lot.
Yeah. History. So the history of the WWF, obviously, like for everything, they show all the big moments, WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Hogan, Andre. Did you get your feelings? I imagine it would have done.
Which was at the time, but I thought they should have been a bit more of the, oh my god, like WCW as well. So it was like one of them's going to end, like these two great companies. But they never really built it up like that, did they? At this point, it was just another faction, wasn't it? It was like the Nexus, so it could have been anyone.
Yeah.
At this point. But
that would have been... It was called the Alliance now.
Yeah, but that would have been cool. And it didn't have their logo, did it? It was like a WCW logo made by the WWF at this point. But
yeah.
I think that would have been cool.
Did they have the rights to it? Did they have all the rights?
I don't think... Yeah, they can't. But again, goes back to a point I think I said in the Invasion episode. Wait if you don't have the rights.
Yeah, wait.
And you know you're going to get them. But yeah, it'd have been cool to see, like, they have the Hulk Hogan and then they have like Ric Flair, like, like side by side, and like, and they have your Undertaker and they have your Sting and kind of.
Yeah, then you can't really show Hogan on the other team, can you?
No, you'd have to just ignore the NWO.
You can't show Savage on the other team. You can't show.
Yeah, you might be able to. You could have had like DX and then NWO, and like all the ones that are close together like that. You could have got away with both.
Yeah,
and you could have two side by side Jeff Jarrett's.
God. Which one? Because he was in both about 5 times.
Yeah, you just have a split screen about 6 different screens with all of the faces of Jeff Jarrett.
Every version of Jeff Jarrett.
That'd be good, wouldn't it? Yeah.
So solid video package to start. And then we got Jim Ross and Paul Heyman on commentary. And low-key, one of my favourite commentary duos.
Yeah, they are underrated because
they're hilarious.
You can tell that Heyman's really, really winding JR up, like just actually winding him up, isn't he? So,
but that makes JR better.
Yeah, he got a bit too salty in some parts, JR, and I like it throughout the show.
Yeah. Some of his quotes, though, and I'll bring them up during the matches. Some of them are hilarious. It's just like, I think he's going to kick your ass or something about Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think he was he was doing all of Jerry Lawler's Randy Orton stuff as well, wasn't he?
Yeah. But loved it. I just loved it. You forget about him because what was it, like 4 or 5 months?
Yeah, it was from like just before WrestleMania X7, wasn't it? To now. The next night, Lawler came back, didn't
he? Yes, because Taylor was fired, wasn't
he? Yeah.
Not to be seen until Wednesday, I think. He was writing money. I think he started to write SmackDown.
Yeah, I think he became like a he was SmackDown GM for a bit before then,
right.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what it was. Best match then, Christian against Al Snow. This is WWF. The European title. Christian is the champion. He's finally on his own. I love that music.
I love the entrance. I love all the pyro and stuff. It's a lot of pyro for a mid-card guy.
Yeah, you see all that though, and you wonder why. I know he's not Edge, but you still wonder why it took Christian so long to get to the top.
Yeah, and did he ever really get to the top?
No, he was champion for about a day, wasn't
he? Yeah, but even then, it was all part of Edge's retirement storyline, wasn't it?
Yeah,
which is a shame because he should have been. You should have got. Oh, you did get 2 world champions, but you should have got 2 bona fide Hall of Famers out of that.
Described as by Bruce Pritchard as the best pure worker ever to grace the WWE.
Yeah, and apparently he's got the what's they keep saying now? He's got the best footwork. I keep hearing.
Ric Flair apparently. So this is from Christian himself. So I don't know. Ric Flair frankly once said, "If I had a promotion, you would be my champion."
Ah.
So high praise indeed.
Yeah, Ric Flair drinks a lot, doesn't
he? He's against Al Snow, who was the Tough Enough coach and came out with the Tough Enough music.
This is weird. This is what a weird start to the show this was.
WWF vs WCW when we've got Christian vs Al Snow.
I know you were one step off getting like really build him out there, weren't you?
Well, he also had a run. Apparently, all the Tough Enough judges had like a little run.
Yeah, I suppose because in the UFC. I mean, this was before the Ultimate Fighter, but in Ultimate Fighter, didn't they used to have the 2 coaches would fight at the end?
I don't know.
One out the thing.
I've never really watched it. But the crowd all the way through were well up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know pro WWF as well.
Yeah, given where it was. Yeah,
given where it was. So basically, it might have been 6 minutes. Snow thought he'd won after he hit the snowplow, which is strange because the ref didn't actually count 3.
Right, and and then he fucking saw the foot on the rope, like he was literally staring right at it. You saw him step up, and he looked like foot's on the rope, and then he thought, actually, I'm going to celebrate anyway. Like, but this wasn't like mad Al Snow, like head Al Snow. It was just
Al Snow coach.
Regular old school coach Al Snow, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah.
but he just had a bit of an Al Snow moment, I think. Yeah, really odd.
The ref should have just hit the 3, and then you can understand Snow thinking, it's 3.
I think Al Snow forgot. Yeah, the referee must have forgot to count to 3, and then Al Snow must have forgot to. He must have been, I was meant to celebrate it.
Yeah, do something else. Then they chase out the ring. Christian hits it pretty up to retain. Christian's job is safe regardless now because he's a champion.
Yeah.
I've seen that somewhere else Wednesday nights.
Yeah, I don't know who came with it first. It's hard to tell.
Weird that the Europeans, you can forget the European title because it got sacked off, didn't it? And the US title came out, but that's merged later on.
Yeah, they merged it was only that whole one brand, one champion thing on it. So they even merged the Intercontinental into it at one point. Took it back out again, thank God.
Good title. I like the European title. But it always felt like a lesser title, didn't it?
I always thought they would bring it back in NXT, but then obviously they've got the North American now.
North American one, it's even older, isn't it? I think that maybe NXT UK makes more sense.
Yeah, but they've got that Heritage Cup now, which is a cup, but it's a belt now.
Yeah, well, rather than that.
Yeah.
They're waiting for NXT Euro.
Yeah, but they thought they might have done that by now, but they're probably not going early post-COVID.
No. 6 minutes then. Solid opening match. What did you think?
Yeah, it was an alright opening one. It was a bit weird. Just it didn't feel like a big match, did it? It was like you've got this big pay-per-view. The end is I don't know. You know me. I like a big exciting tag match or something first. But I was going to say put the Hardys and Dudleys on first, but now I won't do that after that finish. We'll get to that. Yeah, it was all right, wasn't it? That's what it was. 2.5 stars. Aaron's no, I'll give my own ratings out today.
The low ratings.
2.5. Oh, I should get Melson's ratings out as well, shouldn't I? To compare.
Get Melson's ratings.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Sort of see what's up with that. But
Terry's not here. I'm all at sea.
Well, there's only 2 of us. We're scaled down to a skeleton crew. While you're getting that, then I'll move on to what happened next. So it's 1-0 to the Alliance. Not that matters at all because it's all about the last match.
Melsa gave it 2 3/4. So
about right. I think about right, that isn't it?
Yeah.
And then we go on to Alliance. Are all backstage. They're all arguing. So the Alliance team is Stone Cold with Deborah, RVD, Booker T, Kurt Angle, Shane McMahon, and then Stephanie McMahon's there as well. And there's like a mole. That's a running story. There's maybe a mole. Everyone thinks it's Stone Cold.
Yeah.
He turned to them, but Kurt Angle also turned to them, so I don't know why people were.
Yeah, because he smiled at Vince or something at the end, didn't
he? Yeah. And then Vince and Linda are backstage. Michael Cole interrupts him, fresh face Michael Cole.
Yeah. So did these two patch things up?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
6 months earlier, Linda was stepping out of a wheelchair, kicking him in the nuts. So what's happened here?
But yeah, I don't know. They must have done. I think they patched themselves up over the kids being unruly.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
Maybe just Linda just wants to be kept for him, and it was in danger because Vince was going to lose his job.
Yeah, maybe she needs someone to pay for the run to Senate.
Yeah. Pay for a waste of time.
Yeah.
Michael Cole interrupts. Vince says it's 6 vs 4 in favour of the WWF, so Fairbear saying is going to be something to turn it. And every Regal turns him, slags him off. Basically.
Visceral from Regal.
Vince must love Regal, because I don't think he'd let many people come in and say what he said to me.
No, well, I think this was all building up to him kissing his ass next night, wasn't it?
Yeah,
when I was watching it, I was like, Regal, come on, stop it. You're digging yourself a hole here.
Well, if Regal thought I'm going to win.
Yeah.
We got Regal. Speaking of Regal, he's in the next match. He's going against Tajiri. He's the commissioner of the Alliance. He's commissioner of the WWF on it, and then he left, and then Foley got the job. And then he turned over to the commissioner of the Alliance.
But Foley thought the job was a waste of time, as he says later on.
Yeah, because that's why he's not even there.
Yeah. We'll get to that. That was a very odd promo.
Tajiri's a WCW Cruiserweight champion. Yeah, he's representing WWF. It's basically Regal. Tajiri used to be like Regal's protege, and there's some hilarious promos and backstage skits between these two.
Yeah, did that happen? Because that happened again, didn't it? Because they split up again, didn't they, before ECW One Night Stand? I seem to remember.
Yeah, that's like 5 years later, aren't we?
Yeah.
But they split up for that reason. I think Tajiri stayed because that's why Tori Wilson was WCW but ended up as WWF.
Oh yeah, classic Tory.
Regal had attacked Torrie Wilson. I've got this match. Regal just basically gets punched in the face straight away, starts bleeding. And after 2 minutes, he wins with a butterfly powerbomb.
Messy, this match, wasn't it?
Just didn't feel right, did it?
I think obviously Regal shouldn't have got bust up on it. I think it threw them both after that.
Yeah.
But also, like, more to the point, what the fuck was up with Regal's music?
Oh, it's not his classic music, is it?
No, it sounded like it started like that. And it was like, is this the Undertaker's old music at one point? Like, it was all over the place.
It was
just very, it wasn't a tune.
No.
It was just someone like falling asleep on an organ.
It was very mishmashed, wasn't it? Because I was expecting when you come to think like 2008 Regal.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. The best one.
Yeah.
Is that still your alarm?
No, it's what is it now? It's Face Check, if you remember that. It's right. My alarm now. I got the money. Cheap on being.
How strange. Yeah. It went after 2 minutes. It was 2-0. They did a text to Jerry after the bell. Torrie Wilson runs out. And then Regal thinks, screw this, and lays Torrie Wilson out.
They're really building up for this ass kissing the next night, aren't they? They're really.
Oh, he's just. But Regal's one of the ones who can get away with it, innit?
When I was a kid, I couldn't stand Regal. I was like, oh God, I hate that he's our British, representative. Like, what an embarrassment this guy is. And now I love him, obviously, because I realised what he was doing.
Yeah, he's just good at his job, and he don't care.
I was like, what a disgrace to the nation this guy is.
He's another kid who doesn't care if he gets booed.
No, that's how it should be. Yeah. He don't mind doing a bit of comedy. That's what he always says to me. Like, it was just comedy to me. Like, we just did it for a laugh. Like, he said, she puts me in a dress. I said, yeah. What dress do you want? What size? Like,
don't mind doing the J.O.B.
The direct quote from Regal there.
Yeah. Well, speaking of quotes, during this match was when I decided that I love Jim Ross and Paul Heyman. One of the quotes I've got here is Heyman says to JR, your disparaging remarks will not go unnoticed, I assure you. JR says, Paul, I don't care what you notice and what you don't notice, quite frankly, and then shouts, have you noticed that?
Just, I mean, like, he just apparently rattled JR. But...
I'm not going to start scrapping at some point.
Yeah. I should go back to that WrestleMania 7 where he just goes, why are you yelling? Like when I think like Heyman genuinely irritated. But I think JR does say that he was his favourite commentary partner, because he would kept him on his toes, got his best work out of him.
Because again, Heyman just says what he thinks.
Yeah.
Heyman's not scared of getting absolutely destroyed by Vince on the.
I loved how he got really fed up of ECW stories like by the end of the show as well. Like, no ECW story.
I'll be back with some more quotes. I've got quotes. We then see the different tests and Edge backstage segments. Doing a very weird test segment, with Stacey Keebler. Odd. Why? Why is that in? Just why? Why have we got Stacey Keebler and Test talking about something, and then her touching his ass and then walking off?
She's just a big flirt, wasn't she?
Well, apparently so. It was just odd.
Mm-hmm. She's done well to get over the heartbreak of August 2000, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
good to see her back on her feet.
Good. Yes, doing all right. That's when we knew her name was Stacey Keebler. She just told us.
Yeah.
Listen back to last week's episode. Confused about that. Then we get Ed, who basically says we're both big guys with long blonde hair. They're tall. They've got inches of best names, but Tess gets dumped by everyone. So not Edge's best work.
No, it's very strange. Edging well, because weird time for Edge, right? Like they wasted the split up with Christian in this era. I think.
It just got swamped, didn't it? By
it just got lost, didn't it?
Then we get the actual match. So it's 2-0 to the Alliance. Test, yes, the WWF Test is the Intercontinental Champion. He's for the Alliance. Edge is the US Champion. He's for the WWF. This is unification. And then let's have a match. See who wins. Test this one. Wait, 11 minutes. It was quite a decent match.
I'm not gonna lie. I slept through a lot of this because I timed myself out on that big walk to the empty bed reserve.
Right.
So
I'll read out some. I'll read out some quotes now. So Heyman says, yeah, you know what? When you're sitting with all your cousins tomorrow night in Oklahoma watching me on Raw saying, I used to sit next to that guy, he's a big star now while I'm unemployed. JR says, you're going to wish you hadn't talked about home state like that. Heyman says, and why is that? JR replies, a week from tomorrow night we'll be in Oklahoma City. And Heyman goes, ain't no we about it. If you come round, I might let you in the back. And then JR says, you aren't going to let me do anything. Heyman says, won't this be the third time you've been fired around here?
Wow. What was it with casual JR as well? Just wearing a sweater.
Yeah, I liked it. Sweater and hat.
This is when they were going for that really weird casual phase on it. Vince was like insisting I was wearing casual hat.
You change everything, don't they? This match was good. There was a really some good near falls at the end. Tusk gets 2 with a spear. Then Edge got 2 with his own spear. And then he sort of wins after like rolling through for 3 from like a powerbomb.
Don't want to come across too disparaging, but would you say this is Test's best match ever?
Yeah, I can't.
Can you name a better Test match?
No, I can't really think of it. I mean, they tried with Test, didn't they? They tried with the Stiff McMahon stuff and a bit, and feuding with Triple H.
Then they had an ECW Test.
Yeah, it's just. Well, I think Bruce Pritchard said it was too much too soon for him, and he got found out.
Yeah.
And then once he's been found out, it's hard to come back in it.
But this was the best match of the night so far, according to Dave Meltzer. 3.5 stars.
I'd go for that. I mean, Edge is just great. You forget.
Regal and Tajiri is 1.5.
Yeah, not long enough.
Yeah.
But The Fink announces Edge as the first unified champion. So
yeah, but then they didn't do anything with that. I've just the Intercontinental title. You didn't see
just the IC title.
Which is a shame because I liked that US title belt.
Yeah.
So it was nicer than the one they replaced it with a couple of years later.
Before the spinner one.
Yeah, I always say I don't want a flag. It was around for like 20 years. It's like it must have been like one of the longest belts just in existence, but I don't like it. It's too much. Not enough gold. Yeah. The current one's nice, I think.
Well, yeah, decent match. It's weird that Edge didn't do anything really for 5 years. Just it's strange, isn't it?
Yeah, he was in the SmackDown 6 when he was having good matches all the time. But again,
tag champion with Hogan as well.
It's weird though, isn't it? Because like you're gonna get that time these days.
No, you don't.
That's the thing. Like that's why they're missing out on so many potential stars. You don't know what you're losing out really.
You don't know what you're gonna get. No, yeah. But I would argue that there's a lot more. Not that Edge isn't talented, because I think he's one of the best ever. But there's a lot more good wrestlers than there was back then.
Yeah, there's a bigger pool these days for sure.
Yeah. So you don't get the chance because you have to do something right now because there's somebody who's just as good, just as good looking, just as good on promos who's waiting, who's not doing it.
Yeah, now they've got the performance center. It's just a line of them, isn't it?
So it's 2-1 to the Alliance after 3 matches. Then you see Stephanie McMahon, Kurt Angle backstage, just chatting, just asking if you can trust Stone Cold, which one lived through. Then we get Lita with Matt and Jeff. Trish turns up as well. Lita and Trish are in the back later. Matt's freaking out, saying you should be worried. We've got a match against the Dudley Boys. Another unification match, which is coming up next. Dudley Boys, WWF champions, but representing the Alliance. They're with Stacey Keibler. And the Hardy Boys are the WCW champions.
That happened all the way through, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I think it was like WCW come over, won their titles, so WWF were like, "Oh, screw you, we're going to win your titles."
Yeah. Can't believe no one won a Cruiserweight Tag Championships. Disgraceful. But yeah.
I don't think they brought one, did they?
No. 8 days. 8 days those belts lasted.
Who was it? Is it Rey Mysterio and like Romeo or something?
Kidman, wasn't it?
Oh, Kidman.
Yeah. Kidman was there, Rey Mysterio wasn't.
Romeo, he was in one of the matches though. Was he in the match for them?
I think he was around, yeah. And that was like classic 8 days.
So we've got a cage match here. Dudley Boys, Hardy Boys. Best time I've ever met the cage. They've obviously had all the big history anyhow. This is the first one that makes sense for them representing some of those. I guess Regal makes sense representing PCW.
Yeah. But then he was facing Tajiri, who came from ECW, so,
Yeah, which Heyman alludes to.
Yeah.
Dudley Boys are ECW legends, actually, so I guess that makes a bit of sense. But it's a cage match. And this really, really, really wound me up. Making tags, just outside the ropes. It's a cage match.
Yeah, they do this every now and again, don't they? And they don't really know what tag cage matches are, and I don't either. I don't like them because there's no advantage to climbing out the cage, as we found out at the end.
Yeah,
but
I don't. Yeah, At least Nick Patrick wanted to lock the cage door.
Yeah, classic Nick Patrick, knowing the rules.
Yeah, wow.
Too lost the key.
We're putting you in a cage because we don't want people to come in and we don't want you to come out. You need to settle it right now. And then you go off on the door, mate. And the ref goes, yeah, right, I'll just unlock it. Well, I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, I've always hated the escape out the cage door. Yeah, because it just becomes you just run to the door then, wouldn't you, if that was the case? Like,
smash it open. Smash it open if you're going to get rid. If you want to do that.
Do it. Bobby Lashley on Hardcore Holly and just slam him through. Yeah,
or get someone to run out and cut the chain. I don't know what's going to happen, but at least you get it more.
Get the box out. You're
not asking the ref to unlock it. It's like it might be an Elimination Chamber, and you think, oh, I fancy being in now. Unlock the pod ref, and he goes, right there, I'll do it.
Yeah, no, I don't like it.
There's some good stuff in here. Jeff Hardy's bubble bomb from the top rope, which just looks like it hurts. It's like the atomic power bomb thing. Matt Hardy gets hung up in the cage, we're just literally hanging down. Then Stacey Keebler flashed Nick Patrick to get him turned on the cage. JR Heyman says, "Look at that shot." JR replies, "You're a lonely man, aren't you?" And then, Heyman says something like, JR says Heyman's been rubbing Elias victories all night. And Heyman says, like a great masseuse, haven't I? And JR says, hideous thought. I want to go take a shower now. Oh, the lines are great. I rose right in half my nuts and the lines that these guys are doing. So basically, the table's now in the cage. And then Nick Patrick sort of realises what sort of shuts the cage door. I was expecting Lita to that. Never did. Matt then escapes. So Matt escapes.
Yeah.
The boys were there with Jeff. Jeff could leave and goes on the top, but decides to do the swanton bomb on top of Devon, who sort of climbs on the table.
Yeah, then he rolls off.
And then, he rolls off. Jeff goes through it. Bubba pins him, wins. Matt's trying to get back in the cage, which I like. Yeah. That's a bit of a different dynamic, doesn't it, I guess? But
it just made Jeff like an idiot, didn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure we've seen a Hardy's match before where Matt's climbed out and then. No, it was years after it was against the bar. Same thing happened. Matt got out. I realized Jeff was still in there. I had to climb back in. Or the other way around, one of the two. Yeah. But I think tag team cage matches are weird, especially when they start with tags.
I just didn't understand it. There's no rules.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
It's very odd.
And then 15 minutes it was. And the Dudleys, as I said, they're going to be there regardless, no matter who wins.
Yeah. I thought it was a good match, like, given the constraints of the gimmick. But it's all right. How did Stacey Keebler end up with the boys?
Just Duchess of Dudleyville.
Cool.
I think that's it. Yeah. She was there. She come over. Duchess of Dudleyville. Did the Dudley boys needs?
Felt like an odd pairing.
Yeah. Did they need a manager? Don't think so.
I feel like Tess probably did more so. But
what did you give the match, man?
Well, I think I've just seen Dave's, and I think I'll be pretty similar. I was thinking around the 3.5. Dave's gone 3.25, so very similar again. He's on the money with most of these, I think. He's all Dave.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
And then, so it's 3-1 to the Alliance.
It's not good, is it? I mean, technically, the Alliance won it all, didn't
they? Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Alliance should have won it. They get Mick Foley at WWF New York.
Yeah, this was odd.
Why? Why was he basically slagging off his role saying, what's the point of me being here?
I know, it was like, I know, like, it was just really strange, right? Like, I thought he was going to say something like, I wanted to spend a good time, when he was like, why are you there and not here? But I just wanted to have a good time with the rest of the fans. But no, I actually I want to be over there. This is annoying.
Oh, no. I just don't understand.
It must have been part of the storyline because I think Vince was still meant to be the heel, wasn't he? Even though you were cheering for his team.
Yeah.
I think he was still meant to be a heel, which is an odd dynamic, but I do get because.
But then they turned him heel on the night after, didn't they? Again,
Yeah.
Sort of double reinforcement. Flair came back, so then I guess you're cheering Vince, but you're not supposed to be cheering Vince, but you're supposed to be cheering WWF, and then you're booing Vince and you're cheering the WCW guy the night after.
Yeah, but it's over there for us, so it's no more.
Yeah.
WWF's not in danger. I think.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But then they are in danger later on when he brings back the NWO. All right, let's not get.
No, that's when Vince is trying to kill it, and he's trying to kill
Yeah.
himself at that point. That's
injecting poison.
so that's fine, I think.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
We then back to Greensboro. Scott Hottie is walking. Tess like, yo, Scotty mate, you win that match, the immunity battle royal. Scotty's like, yeah. Tess beats him down. Says, nah, not anymore, pal.
Oh, this was frustrating.
Was that just what you can do? Is that what you?
Well, it was only a few's, and there was I'm not thirsty for blood. I am. There's a flight of stairs right there.
Do something. Throw him through a door or something.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, do it catastrophic, not just beat him down with a couple of punches. I mean, not that you need to protect Scotty too hard, because who the fuck cares? But it would have been
You
a
backstage.
cool spot. Just have someone fly through a wall.
Yeah, you backstage. Throw them into all the metal poles that are random must have done that always fall over. You know what I mean?
Random poles into the side of the equipment box, or down those stairs that were there. That'd be nice. They were literally right there. Just toss them off the stairs. Actually, if you toss down, it'd be a different style. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it was just a very of a lame way on it of them.
Yeah,
the end was nice for Scotty Hottie. I know it lasted like another 15 years after this, but the end was nice.
I don't think did he win a match after this? Though? Was this the last match?
No, it was just a straight jobber for ages, literally
Yeah.
ages after this, wasn't it? Yeah,
He screwed them.
I'm pretty sure it was in those like 2011 ones where he got released finally. It was a long time.
Yeah, that was back. Instead of performance next one.
I believe so, yeah. Well, Scott Taylor. Was my name.
He became a fireman, didn't he?
Yeah, he had some sort of regular job, didn't
he? Yeah, and he came back.
Too hot fireman, like Mike's, yeah.
Yeah, Mike's.
Might be on too hot, yeah.
Yeah.
Much, I know.
He was always in the like generic six-pack challenges on any SmackDown pay-per-view. Or title cruiserweight title scrambles. It was always
invitational. Everyone was, yeah. Or just velocity, I guess. Like, that's a super crazy or something every week.
Yeah, always in there. And then we get the immunity battle royal, which. So the winner, regardless of who wins, is in that match.
Yeah, it seems like a really good idea for a match. Other matches is it as well, I think.
Yeah, I think it's standard idea. Participants are Bradshaw, Farouk, Lance Storm, Billy Kidman, Diamond Dallas Page, Albert, Taz Jones last minute, Perry Saturn, Raven, Chuck Palumbo, Crash Holly, Just Incredible, Sean Stasiak, Stephen Richards, Tommy Dreamer, the Hurricane with long hair, which is weird.
Hurricane in this, I didn't realize the Hurricane had become the Hurricane at this point either.
I think he came over as the Hurricane, didn't he?
No, I want the Hurricane WCW, was he?
I know, but when he came to WWF, he was the Hurricane.
Oh, I did Mighty Mulligan. I thought this was like 2004. If you'd have asked me when the Hurricane debuted as the Hurricane, I'd have said like 2003, 2004. Shocked me. I was shook.
Yeah. Spike Dudley, Hugh Morris, Chavo Guerrero, and Funaki. I mean, it only goes 7 minutes.
Well, Hugh Morris and Chavo Guerrero turned up halfway through, didn't they? And they didn't have a side because they'd been fired from the Alliance.
Yeah.
So they were trying to get a job. Taz turned up at the last minute.
Yeah.
DDP in there breaks my heart.
Oh, especially when he's in the first tag match.
And he just gets buried by The Undertaker. And that is an actual burial, wrestling fans, not just when your favourite loses one match.
No, yeah.
Undertaker buried.
Former WCW champion and he's getting pinned by Sarah.
Yeah, just yeah. Well, when you've only got like one WCW guy in the main event anyway, it's just infuriating. You know, you don't have that many stars, and they've released Buff Bagwell, whatever. Right, but that's one former big WCW guy that you had that you couldn't really use anymore. You know, you had. And then you've got DDP, another WCW guy that you had, and you just decided to put him in a battle royal instead, and not even like a prominent part in the battle royal. No, he just gets stripped out. The guy was like main eventing WCW pay-per-views earlier that year.
He chucked up by Chuck Palumbo.
Yeah, it took his contract early, didn't he? Him and Booker T, didn't they get paid off early, or if you still want to do the cost straight away?
Yeah, didn't take the money, did they? Yeah, it took less money.
Yeah.
He could, and DDP says so he could get because he thought it would benefit his career.
Yeah, because he had the momentum, and he came in as a stalker. Like, you obviously weren't going to bring him in as a face because you're doing the invasion angle. That's fine.
Brought him in as a big deal. You must have thought, I'm in with the big dog here. I'm in with Undertaker.
That's what he said. He literally said you go for the biggest dog in the yard, didn't
he? Yeah.
What a way.
When we get to the final five, I have a question in my mind. What would you have done? It could have been put better. Who would you have put in there?
With the people? Yeah.
And we'll get there. We'll save that for the end.
Yeah.
So the final four is Billy Gunn, Test, Bradshaw, and Lance Storm. So I think that tells you all you need to know. Is only Lance Storm who's come from.
Again, Lance Storm's another one who was getting to be a big star at the end of WCW. But anyway, whatever.
Yeah. And then the last two is Billy Gunn and Test.
The one Billy Gunn. This is when he was doing they were trying to get him over as a single star again. You see what I mean? When you see people released after 4 weeks on the main roster.
He'd already run King of the Ring.
And you see people like Billy Gunn who've had they've tried 4 or 5 times to get him over.
Isn't it about 1 million tag teams?
Yeah. But this is when he had that really 80s sitcom theme tune on it. There's I can't remember what the account is on Twitter, but there's an account where it just puts Billy Gunn's theme tune from this time over the top of sitcom intros. And it works 9% of the time.
How ridiculous.
If I find a link, I'll put it in the show description.
Billy Gunn goes for the famous and then Test sort of goes over the top.
Yeah.
Test wins. And
he gets immunity for a year.
Do you know what he did with that? Absolutely nothing.
Did he even last a year after that?
I don't know. He sort of went round telling people how he was immune and just sort of doing whatever he wanted because he couldn't get fired, and then he just sort of faded out.
Oh, Big Show's ironclad contract that time.
Yeah, he just started doing what he wanted, picking on jobbers and that.
Right. So this was November 2001. He did. When did he get released? 2004. So
then did he come back for ECW?
He lasted a year.
Yeah, it must have lasted 3 years.
He lasted. He did last a year. I thought I was going to read it where they were like, "Oh, they released him in June 2002 or something."
Yeah, no, sorry.
But that's when he began having his. He did get with Stacey Keebler eventually, after the Young Americans.
Right.
And then he became embraced his fan base and called them the Testicles.
Cool. Why would not?
Then he had spinal fusion surgery and got released.
And then came back in
along with Billy Gunn. Same time. Yeah. So then he went, returned to the ring and then came back in 2006 to go to ECW.
Didn't last long.
2007. 2007 released again, yeah.
Yeah. That was 7 minutes then. I think he did standard battle royal.
It was a standard battle royal. They weren't wearing the shirts though.
No, they weren't wearing the shirts. You're going to wear your brand shirt.
Well, the commentators didn't even know whose side most people were on. They were like, "Oh, which side's Taz on?" when he came out.
Well, he'd been kicked out of the Alliance by Austin, hadn't
he? Yeah, and then he choked out Heyman, didn't he? After he did that really good promo on Vince. And obviously Chavo and Hugh Morris were there. They didn't have any alliance because they'd been kicked out of the alliance.
Chuck Palumbo was on the side of WWF.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not us?
He's from Power Plant. He's from WWF. I did like how Stasiak was thrown up straight away because that was part of his running.
He kept doing that. Yeah, he lost that match to Regal in 85. Was that before or after he was meat?
I don't know. He would do anything. Just do anything.
Weird that his dad was like a famous wrestler on it. His granddad.
Yeah. Did Meltzer give it a rating? Does
he give it one? He gave it 1 star.
Yeah, about right. 7 minutes. I think Booker T and Shane backstage. Obviously, don't trust Austin. Is that what DTS really means? Don't trust anyone. Don't trust Austin.
Well, that's what Booker T was saying. Yeah.
Shane saying, you can trust him. And it seems to be right.
I love how Booker T always has a concerned look on his face in this era.
Yeah, he don't want to be concerned about.
Even when he came out for his entrance and he's looking around, he's like, looking around like really concerned.
It's the short hair, isn't it? I'm not used to seeing him with like the short hair.
Well, and that was long for the time.
Yeah, but they wouldn't even.
I'm sure. I think when Young said it, I'm not sure if he was joking or, but apparently he's not cut it since WCW ended the ring.
I'm always surprised.
It's really long now.
Yeah, he ties it up, doesn't he? But it's really long.
Yeah.
It's just I'm too when he comes out and he does the sort of, I don't know how to describe it. Hands in the air, 1 foot up, and sort of hops to the
yeah.
Up there with the best entrances.
His entrance is fantastic. Well, yeah, his entrance is fantastic. Just the pyro, it's great.
Yeah.
All his flames, love
it. So it's 4-1 to the Alliance. They're absolutely smashing it.
So they've won, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've definitely won. Yeah, there's only too much of
that.
Yeah. Weird for the time, the semi-main event is the WWF Women's Championship match.
Yeah.
It's vacant.
Is that because China has got released?
I think so. I'm not sure why it was vacant.
Because it was definitely China at X7, wasn't it?
Yeah, nobody mentioned it.
Yeah, I think it's because they quietly released China.
This match is only 5 minutes. It's a 6-pack challenge with Trish Stratus, Jacqueline, Lita, Ivory, Mighty Molly, and Jazz.
Jazz's debut, I believe.
Was it really?
Yeah, that's what they say on the commentary, aren't they? Like,
right.
I think this was how they debuted Jazz, because they had like a mystery alliance person.
So I'm trying to work out who was in the alliance. Ivory?
Ivory defected.
Mighty Molly had.
She was in WCW technically.
Right.
She was like Randy Savage's valet in like '94 something. But like,
yeah. So OG then. OG.
Actually, no, she's not that old. She's not that old. Actually, is she, Molly? She's only in her 40s now.
Yeah.
Must have been later than that, but she was definitely in WCW with Randy Savage.
The Jazz.
And Jazz, yeah, from ECW.
Trish Stratus, Jacqueline, and Leah from
Jacqueline, who'd been in all three by that point, I think. But anyway, it's fine.
Yeah, what made more sense. But whatever, cool. Trish pins Ivory after a springboard bulldog, 5 minutes long. 4-2 to the Alliance. What do we think? I mean, it was the Rock.
We're talking about tags and cages. Tags in matches like this annoy me even more, because what motivation have you got to tag someone in?
You won't have it.
Unless you're like, you really hurt, but then I don't get it.
Yeah, it's always a slap on the back and taking themselves, and then there's a stare down on the knee, and it's all like that.
Yeah, I just find it really odd. And also, like, if you're debuting Jazz and the Alliance people have got to win championships to stay, give her a championship.
It's all about Trish, though, isn't it?
Yeah, like Trish's mom can come later. When it was in, WrestleMania was in Toronto. She was against Jazz and Lita, wasn't she?
Trish obviously isn't going anywhere.
It was weird, wasn't it? The way they were talking about Trish is like someone they weren't expecting, because she didn't really wrestle that much. And
she didn't, though, did she? I mean,
it was just weird looking at it, given how she became like one of the most successful, still the second most, even though she's only got 7 titles compared to Charlotte's like.
She must have more days, though.
13 for I'd imagine so.
More days.
And she retired as champion, didn't she?
Yeah, and Lita retired, and then crime time sold off her underwear.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cool. Money Meltzer give it 1 star, I imagine.
Yeah, he did. 1 star again, 2 in a row.
Yeah. And one of my favourite quotes on that match was Trish comes in the back door, looks straight at him and says, "I'm sure you wouldn't mind that." So, yes, as implied that Heyman would like to be sodomized by Trish Stratus.
Yeah, the strap on.
Yeah, so there we go. This is the bit I remember as a child. I don't know if I remember it as a child. I must have seen it on something. I think someone must have had this on video that I watched. Because I definitely watched it before I got the network. So I don't know where I'd watched it. We've got Vince backstage with Team WWF. He's basically revving them all up. The Rock is doing his best Brock Lesnar impression anyway. He didn't stop moving
the entire time.
The way through. So we've got Kane, Undertaker, Big Show, Jericho, and The Rock. And I mean, The Rock's massive, isn't he? The Rock is arguably bigger than Stone Cold at this point.
I think he'd just be in the Scorpion King, and he'd just be headlining Saturday Night, the guest host in Saturday Night Live and stuff.
He had, because he'd come back and everyone was like, whose side is The Rock on? Before the first match.
He wasn't in the Invasion pay-per-view, was he?
It was it wasn't in the first team. Yeah, because
it was the same team, I think, wasn't it? But just it would just been Jericho, Undertaker, and Kane, and then it was Austin and Angle on it. But
yeah,
The Rock wasn't there.
It was the whole thing of whose side is The Rock on, and like The Rock comes back and like, yeah, of course I'm on.
Obviously, because he'd never been in WCW. He literally has only ever wrestled for the WWF. Like,
well, I guess the thing was, why would you choose Vince McMahon?
Yeah,
I guess that's the sort of thing in it, because he's like really he is everyone. He's like been fighting him for ages, so why would you also be on the team? Yeah. Also, the first team was Jericho, Kane, Angle, Austin, and Taker.
Yeah.
And then the WCW team was Booker T, Bubba Ray, DDP, Devon, and Rhino.
So even it was shit at that point, wasn't it? Like, and that was.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Right. So that I just remember Vince ripping them all up, and I thought, to me, even now, it felt like a big deal.
Yeah, I was just amazed how often Rock was bouncing. It just looked intense.
That is distracting. I will give you that.
It was distracting also because it was just The Rock. It just felt very weird for him to just be stood there taking orders. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
we're not giving anything back.
Yeah. They just went there, cheers, Vince, and walked out. All right.
So we've got, before we get into the matches, we've got the 5-on-5. I've just gone through the teams. Big Show was a last-minute replacement for Vince because Vince got injured.
Yeah.
Which seems weird, doesn't it? But Big Show wasn't a big thing at this point, was it?
No, because he wasn't even on. Was this the WrestleMania where they just sent him to New York as well because they thought he was too overweight? Like,
yeah, he'd not been barely on TV.
Yeah, he'd been in OVW or Memphis or something.
Yeah, he'd already been champion. He was champion when he
99. Yeah, when Austin got run over.
And yeah, he wasn't in like, you think of all these big moments, but he just wasn't in their matches. He wasn't in like the Armageddon. I don't think he was on Armageddon pay-per-view.
No, he wouldn't. I think that was when he was in development.
Yeah, the little thing with Kurt Angle in 2000, but yeah, when he was like, he dressed up as Hogan and stuff.
That was great. That was great.
Glorious.
Shokishi as well. Was that one of the great shows? Like,
yeah, he just loves to have fun. That's what I'm saying. Big Show just loves to have fun.
Classic call line.
It's just, it's weird that he was in it. So the teams then. So obviously Alliance team, we've got Shane McMahon's WWF. Kurt Angle's WWF, Stone Cold. Booker T and RVD. RVD's been in some title matches, so has Booker T.
Yeah, they'd made RVD quite a big deal at this point, haven't they? Like,
so out of the people we've got, and I'm not going to let's not do mad fantasy and pretend that we've got. We'll do that later after this. Let's not pretend we've got Sting and NWO and all that kind of stuff. Out of the people they actually have, and it's up to you if you want to include Bagwell, you weren't there that long. Who would you have put in Team Alliance?
Well,
you're not putting WWF in.
Yeah, so you'd take, if you're not putting WWF in, you'd have to put in, if you're keeping ECW in there as well, because if I was rebooking the whole invasion angle, I wouldn't have ECW anywhere near it, to be honest. I'd do that afterwards.
Yep.
But or before, well, then you could do ECW first while you're waiting to get all the WCW guys, but if you're having them both, if you're having them both together, so you've got RVD should be in there, Booker T obviously should be in there.
Yeah.
You've got DDP
should be in there. Yeah.
Should be in there. I think you would have to. I would just, even if Buff's been a nightmare backstage, unless he's doing something illegal, hold on to him until the end of this angle. Surely, if you don't have that many stars, and then you could even put like someone like Lance Storm who's been in Buff because he was prominent on TV at the end of WCW. You know, that's the people who actually moved across. Even someone like Canyon, he was there for a bit, wasn't
he? Yeah, I guess it's how you book them, isn't it? It's obviously DDP been booked off.
Just don't book them like twats. Like the thing with Rhino, he was already kind of the mid carder in WWF before they were like, oh, by the way, he's an ECW guy.
Yeah.
Same issue with the Dudleys for an extent. You'd already kind of established them lower down the card.
On the card, yeah. Yeah, if you hadn't have done that with Rhino as Edge and Chris's lackey, you could have brought him across as the last ECW champion.
Yeah.
And made him a big deal. Because he's a beast, isn't he? He had that thing with, he was Steph McMahon's like thing, wasn't he? He had a load of matches with Jericho.
It's just a meat castle, at this point.
Yeah, I mean, obviously DDP he's multi-time champion. That's what they should have done. They should have brought these people as champions. I don't know if the division angle maybe waited too long. But you don't want to hot shot it, but by this point, Booker T had already lost his titles. None of them got any big wins.
Yeah, that was it. They were so concentrated on keeping the WWF brand hot that they just gave them too many wins, didn't they? And I know they did the whole swear, but it was almost even the Invasion pay-per-view. It was like, oh, they only won because Austin turned.
Yeah,
it would be more of a statement, wouldn't it? If you're like, fucking hell, the WCW just beat him. Like, you know, what the hell does this mean, kind of thing?
I mean, for me, I kind of see. I get the 10. I 100% get that, but I wouldn't have picked Austin. I would have picked Jericho.
Yeah, because that was the obvious one, wasn't it? Because that's what they were teasing before.
If you're going to make Jericho a heel, if you're going to make Jericho a heel anyhow,
yeah,
why not?
Yeah,
make him the new leader.
Yeah, it's just like his ineffective turn anyway at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Kurt Angle made no sense, especially given his history of ECW. Not that anyone would have known it really, because that wasn't as prevalent in 2001. But like,
it didn't make any sense when you picked him as the guy. You put him above The Rock. You put him as the man who was going to lead WWF.
Yeah,
I think I would have had Booker T, DDP, RVD, Jericho in this match.
Yeah,
and Rhino or Taz. But then you've already messed up Taz, haven't you?
Yeah, that was it. Like Taz was been feuding with Jerry Lawler like a year before, and like they really dropped the ball on Taz. They dropped the ball on a lot of people now when you think about it.
Even Mike Awesome though. You could have, I mean, I know in WCW he was awful.
But the thing is, like the end of WCW, no one was watching anyway because they brought back NWO Hogan, even though he was already in the red and yellow by the end. You know, by the time he got out of WCW, like.
Could have Mike Awesome as an ECW guy instead of Rhino.
Just retcon that, all that. Yeah, you could have easily done that. There's a lot you could have done with the people you had. But I would have maybe, if I was them, do your ECW stuff first and then do your WCW afterwards once you can get people like Hall, Nash, Hogan, Flair. You know, you've got Flair come out the next night, so would you stick Flair in there? Really? I don't know when they could have signed him. I don't know if it was literally they couldn't get him until November or if it was a choice to hold off until the end. Yeah, but I guess they didn't want him as a wrestler, did they, apparently?
I don't think Flair wanted to wrestle at that point.
Yeah, and then he wrestled his first match at the Royal Rumble like 2 months later.
Yeah, it was like his street fight against Vince on that. This was Flair in a shirt.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Classic Flair.
But see, I'd have brought Booker T across as the WCW champion. I wouldn't have had him lose.
No, that made no sense. Why had The Rock into WCW champion?
Because he needed a title on each side and Stone Cold.
Yeah, Stone Cold's WWF champion. It just looked like WWF Stone Cold. At least do something different, like make him Stunning Steve. You know, like while he was in the WCW, like.
Yeah, or the Superstar Steve.
Change it up a bit, yeah.
Yeah, I would have had Stone. I kept Stone Cold fit, and he even says himself when he regrets his heel turn. This is just stunning, not man. But
yeah, I think Dave Meltzer. I mean, I know it's Dave Meltzer, so you can always be a bit dramatic and a bit biased at times. But I think he always says like pay-per-view numbers were never, attendance numbers were never the same. You know that big dip they had in like between like 2001 to like 2006, 2007. I think when Cena started coming back.
Yeah,
like that was literally all because of Austin's heel turn because people just didn't want to boo him, so they just didn't care. It was like I've never seen it, but was it Daenerys at the end of Game of Thrones where she turned heel with a dragon or something? Sorry, guys, spoilers. And everyone was like, "Ah, shit," because we just didn't want it. Like sometimes people just don't want it.
I saw that one coming. I thought it was obvious.
I've never seen it. I just heard it.
Everyone always says that. It was a bad ending, but I thought it was obvious, completely obvious from the start because all they mentioned all the way through every series was how her dad was mental.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was completely obvious, right? But yeah. If you get Booker T, so imagine, right, Booker T, if you don't watch WCW, or even if you do watch WCW, Booker T is a champion there. He's beat Steiner in the last one. He comes across, he hasn't lost.
They obviously had plans for him because the WWF booked that show, didn't they, that last July show? So they obviously had plans to bring him across as a big deal because he had 2 titles.
Bring him across, it looks like an absolute beast.
Mm-hmm.
And then like, oh, this guy hasn't been beaten. And then when you've got Booker and Austin or Booker and The Rock staring off, like, oh my god, this is keep them away from each other. Keep them away from each other. But then, I know you've got to put them in the matches, but they could have done other things. Could have had.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Well, it was the thing because when Booker debuted, The Rock just looked at him and went, "Who are you?" Didn't he? And he just kind of. That was always why Sting was like, "Fuck that."
Yeah.
he specifically quoted that moment of like, "I'm not going just for them to piss on my legacy." Like, and obviously TNA wasn't as big, but.
I know.
They try him like the legend Sting.
I know.
Look what he did to DDP. 6 months that was, if that.
That's The Rock being The Rock, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah.
And I think somebody said something about he was with Triple H. Triple H went off script, and the Rock was back fuming. And someone said, "So what are you going to do, mate? You're live."
Yeah.
so then after that, I think that's supposed to he absolutely tore Jericho apart, but he came back, didn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah. Just he could have done better. I mean, obviously should have been booked up, but I still really, really enjoyed it.
I think as a kid, you really enjoyed it. Like there's a lot of things. There's probably stuff on here on TV now that we're like, oh my god, that person shouldn't have got over, and that person shouldn't have got over. But no one cares. The casual, not casual fans, but
yeah,
the people aren't as invested in the backstage politics. So someone just watch it for as a TV show, I imagine.
Yeah, I still enjoy it. Enjoyed the match now. Still enjoyed the match. So we'll go through the sort of eliminations. So Big Show's eliminated first, which I'm guessing with the Vince slot.
Yeah, it made sense to get Big Show at first because he was the weakest member, wasn't he? Like, I know he's a 7'2", 500-pound guy, but it's the weakest member in terms of star power. They did it the right way though, didn't they? Everybody did the finishes then. Yeah.
But then nobody broke it up, so they were breaking up tags, and then nobody in the team shows out.
Yeah, it was like I just kind of casually watching him. Maybe he expects him to get to kick out.
Okay, maybe. So he's out. Then Shane's eliminated by Jericho after a tombstone, and then the Lion Salt. So it's 4-4. Kane's eliminated by RVD after sort of kick from the top rope, but even 5-star frog splash was a bit strange.
But big for RVD, so obviously they have plans for him at that point.
Yeah, well, he'd been in main event feuds, hasn't he?
Yeah,
with Austin, and because it's like the whole thing between Austin and RVD, wasn't he? Who's going to lead the alliance?
Yeah.
So that's 4-3 to the alliance. Undertaker's then eliminated by Kurt Angle after a Stone Cold Stunner. So it's 4-2. Booker T's then eliminated by The Rock after a schoolboy just getting back in, and massive pop for that for The Rock. The crowd loved The Rock.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping, because I've never seen it before, I was hoping Booker would last longer. I get why he didn't.
Yeah.
But just because he was the last actual WCW guy in there, really.
Yeah.
It would have been nice for him to go out at the end. And then I'm never going to do it at the end. But it
would have been nice for Booker T versus Austin. Champion best, 2 champions last, and then the win. I mean, The Rock, or whoever you got as champion. RVD's then eliminated by Jericho after a skull crushing finale. Forgot he used to do that.
Yeah, so
I was just finishing for a while.
I was expecting to pull a Cobra crap, but I was like, no, I didn't do this for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. You forget, I thought it was Lion Sultan's Lion Tamer or Balls Jericho.
What walls at this point, wasn't it?
Yeah. Then Kurt Angle's eliminated by The Rock after a sharpshooter.
Yeah.
Mad eliminations.
Yeah, that was his signature for a bit, wasn't it, The Rock? Because everyone used to, I think Bret Hart hated him doing it because he didn't do it right.
Yeah, it looks wrong or something. Then Jericho's eliminated by Stone Cold after a really dodgy roller. Just 1-1, so it's Stone Cold and The Rock. Jericho then attacks The Rock. He's about to go do it again. I think Rock kicks out, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Taker sort of comes out, makes a save.
That's what the fuck are you doing? I thought that was going to lead to more violence. I was like, get him off the stage.
Taker and Jericho were going to start fighting, yeah?
Yeah, I was very bloodthirsty in this pay-per-view, apparently. I wanted I saw it down the stairs, and I was like, look at that stage. Look at the size of it. Like, get Jericho thrown off there. That's your feud.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Then Hebner's sort of in the ring. He's the ref. Nick Patrick runs out, pulls him out the ring.
Classic Nick Patrick.
How
he got a job on SmackDown after this, I'll never know. Just constant shenanigans from Nick Patrick.
They'd already had a match, haven't they, Patrick and Hebner?
Yeah.
On the invasion.
I do wish that they were still wearing the classic shirts and bow ties, the WCW guys there.
Yeah.
So the white polo shirts, it's fine.
Yeah. But that's what they was wearing at the end of WCW, wasn't it?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't know. Was it?
We'll have to do some very late WCW at some point.
I want to do the last pay-per-view, whatever that is.
Yeah.
June. Is it June?
No, it's March.
Oh, so
right before X7, wasn't it? It was
of course it was.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, you don't really want to do it, but we'll do it.
I do.
So you need to learn. But
I've never seen it.
The first thing I watched on the network.
we such different things. Such different priorities. So there's a few ref bumps in. Patrick's knocked out. Hebner's knocked out. Kurt Angle comes out, hits Austin with a belt, swerve again. So Kurt Angle's really a good guy all along. The Rockets are rock bottom to win 44 minutes.
Right. If you're gonna fight, so Vince knew that he was gonna turn it.
Yeah.
Right. Is it just me? But why wrestle the entire match? Yeah, I'm going to turn you, but I'm going to wait 45 minutes to do it. What? Just, I often find
it's weird. And be eliminated.
Like it's dramatic. I guess you just have to suspend your disbelief, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
44 minutes. The Rock wins. Vince comes out on his knees. Closing shot is Vince McMahon with his fists in the air.
It's fine. Yeah. JR's like, it's finally done it. It's on top of the wrestling world. Like,
yeah.
Little did he know, TNA was just about to start and knock him
the
off. The
visual of who won the Monday Night Wars right there.
Yeah, I thought like when I saw it happen, I was like, yeah, fair enough, Vince. You know what? You have won. Yeah, have this moment. Like,
have it. Yeah. What did I'm interested to see what Meltzer give it.
What do you reckon?
Well, what did you think as a first time?
So I think the people in it was disappointing, but I thought as a Survivor Series match, it was a good match.
The drama was,
yeah.
You genuinely didn't know who was
because even though I knew Angle turned,
yeah,
I was like, oh, maybe I got this wrong. Maybe you didn't, because he went out and he was gone for ages, and so I was pretty hooked. I would give it about 4 stars.
Man, I'm guessing Meltzer give it 3.
Oh, Meltzer more generous than me, 4.5.
It's just the drama, though. Even now, I'm like, oh my, the dramas.
I think it's one of the better. I like the Survivor Series matches because even if there's no storyline, you can get some really good stuff out of them.
Yeah,
I think that's possibly my second favorite one after. I think it was a Raw versus SmackDown one a couple of years ago that went like an hour.
Right.
And it was I can't remember not the one where Triple H is in it. I think it was the year before. Like it must have been like 2017, 2016.
I like the one where Undertaker comes back. 2004.
Yeah, where Randy Orton's the sole survivor.
Randy Orton's the last one.
Yeah.
All SmackDown's got him on his shields and Undertaker comes back.
Did he come back on a horse? No, that was against McEnroe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kurt Angle, sorry, not McEnroe.
But yeah, I mean, I just thought the drama. I thought this is JR at his best. JR adds a lot to the drama.
Yeah. Yeah, and he loved it as well. Like he genuinely said the day afterwards that he loved the fact that he was calling it demise of the WCW because he was still pretty solid about it at this point.
Yeah, I thought the crowd was bang into it as well.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd was so hot. The Rock, you've got star by star. You just, I wish. Yeah,
it was a bit weird that it was just Austin Hogan at the end. Not Austin Hogan, Austin Rock at the end because it was. Yeah, I've seen it before. Yeah. It was
I wish it had been booked differently, but I think what they had, I still really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think given that if you got to ignore the fact that they've got to this point,
yeah,
it was the best they could do with the kind of the booking situation around it. Like, yeah, it's the best way of doing it at this point. So I enjoyed the pay-per-view overall. I'm glad I finally seen it. I was surprised how short it was.
2.5 hours, 2.5 hours, yeah. There's not many matches.
I thought it was going to go like 4 hours, especially when I saw the main event was like 44 minutes.
Well, there was like an hour left. And there was like an hour left, and they was doing the promo for the main event.
Yeah, like last week, it's something like 4 attempts to watch New Blood Rising.
Yeah,
I watched this all in one today.
I watched this all in one. I've genuinely seen this about 10 times.
Yeah, but now given I've never seen it before, I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah,
7 matches altogether.
Yeah, that's all you need sometimes, isn't it? It's a good idea. They're getting back into doing that now, aren't they, with the short pay-per-views? But I like it.
Every match meant something. Just loved it. I just love this era. I mean, after this, I've sort of tail off. I'd
already gone by this point, yeah.
Not even now when I rewatch it. I watched 99 and 2012 and I tail off after this. Because
we'll have to do some more 2002 next year, given it's 20 years. I like nice round numbers.
Yeah.
Anniversaries.
We'll do that. The big stars are coming back.
Yeah.
I've obviously seen Sold Out, and we've done it. Not Sold Out. No,
I've never seen Sold Out. We'll be doing that in January.
We'll be doing that. I meant No Way Out, any other one, but NWO come back. We've done that.
Yeah, we did that on this show. Yeah,
I'll see that in the archives. That was the show then. That was Survivor Series 2001. What do we think overall when you first time watching it? Or as a pay-per-view overall?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. For giving it a score out of 10. Let's give it a 7.5. Like, it wasn't one of my favorite pay-per-views. I don't think I'm going to go rush back to watch it, to be honest.
Right.
But I enjoyed it only because it's like How I Met Your Mother in it. It's like, even though you can enjoy it, the frustration.
Ends.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm glad I watched it, and it was 7.5 out of 10. Maybe 8. 8. Yeah, 7.5 feels
Easy
a bit low, doesn't it? If we put it on a tier list, when we do the second tier list in the second year anniversary, that's probably what we're doing. I'll probably put it in the second to top bracket.
Yeah.
It's no Halloween Havoc 95, obviously.
No.
Nothing ever will be.
Monster shirts. Big shirt ads.
Yeah. It's got to be something. In fact, like we'll say it now, the top category next year is Halloween Havoc 95-esque. Like, it's got its own.
Yeah.
It's got its own category. I'll just leave it blank.
Yes, I would agree. I mean, it's you don't care about shows this much anymore.
No, the crowd was so invested, and it's just, I mean, like if we compare it to Survivor Series this year, we kind of covered on the news.
No one cares.
It'll be in and gone by this point, but there'll be zero consequences coming out of that show. Like on Raw, it'll just be Raw lost or Raw won, and then it'll be moving on to day one or whatever the next pay-per-view is. But this felt like it really mattered because you genuinely and I think at the time as well, like the context of it, everyone knew the trademark dispute was happening because it was like they reported on the BBC and that. So I think a lot of people genuinely thought WCW were going to win just because of that. Like they knew they weren't going to be able to call WWF anymore. Because I think as a kid, I was convinced that WCW would win. I was like, oh, well, just WCW win and that's how it will be because of the trademark stuff. So I think that was an overriding context. It felt like really genuinely like WWF could lose it. So it felt huge.
So the closest thing, I think, to this in modern days, it's not even modern anymore, is the Nexus.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say. Another botched storyline.
Yeah, I think you had that one with when ECW first formed, and it was like they're going to rename the WWF Championship. I know they just they got around that by just adding another one. Yeah, but that was another one. You thought, bloody hell, how are they going to get out of this? Like,
what giant parallels then to the Nexus, which we've done as well. This match. What? Which one do you think was done better?
This one, because this finish made more sense.
This felt more real as well. But because the WWF lost the first one, so the Nexus should have won the first game. Right?
Yeah, and also even if they were going to lose, they shouldn't have lost in the manner that they did.
No,
they should have had someone turn or something.
Yeah.
Because they even had the whole thing with the Miz in the next story. I know we're going back into SummerSlam 2011 now. But they could even have the Miz costume, couldn't they?
Yeah.
Like, it was easy to do. But anyway.
Yeah. In the archives. But that is the Survivor Series 2001. So for me, if you're going to go watch a match, watch it all, but watch the last one. That's what I care as well. Watch the promos first as well. Watch Vince and then watch the video packages because you just need to look more.
Agreed.
That's it for this week then. I don't know what we'll do next week.
I've been thinking about this. We've not done We've not done WCW in a while.
Last week. We're probably what WCW because there's two WCW.
So we're going to do World War III, 1996.
Yes. So is that the one Scott Hall wins?
It's the one where the Giant wins.
The Giant wins, right. I love the World War.
Yeah, 25 years.
Two Peters is going to be living about it as well.
It's got a Jeff Jarrett match in there. It's got a
Horseman Jarrett.
It's got Sister Sherry versus Kendall Parker.
Oh God!
All the good stuff. Jacques Rougeau's there again. So
of course he is.
Chris Jericho versus Nick Patrick. That's right.
I'm getting up now. Oh God! 1 minute, Sister. Oh Jesus Christ!
Ultimate Dragon versus Rey Mysterio as well. Opening match. So I imagine it will peak quite early on.
Go back. Well, yeah. So this follows on from. What did we want? The first NWO.
Yeah, we're following it all the way through to Sold Out 97. That's what we're doing.
Right, okay.
Because I really want to watch Sold Out 97 this next year in January.
Oh my God, they've actually put in. I think they've put in the. Oh no, they haven't put them all in. I thought they'd put in all the people from all 60 competitors, but there's definitely not 60 there. How did they even have 60 people? Yeah, I thought they put them all
3 rings, that's it.
No, but how did they have 60 wrestlers?
Yeah, I think they got a lot of jobbers in there. Or just legends in there, I think.
You can't tell anyone, can you? You might as well. Could have been anyone, could dress them as anyone.
Yeah, you got Squire Dave Taylor, Pez Watley. What's your favourite Pez Watley match?
World War III, 96, I think.
Look, Pez Watley. No, I don't know, but he went out with Stacey Keebler for 4 years.
Nice.
Rest in peace. He's dead now.
Yeah,
also went out with Kelly Kelly. Oh, because hang on. That's because Pez Watley was... Oh, no, I pressed back by accident. No, Pez Watley was something completely different. Did not go out with Execute Player.
Oh, Kelly Kelly.
Oh, Kelly Kelly. That was Test.
Test.
Pez Watley died in 2005. You may know him better as Shaska Watley. Or will he be hurt? Will he be hurt? Get it?
Love it. Right, that's next week then. So WCW next week. Looking forward to that. Well, we should all be back to full strength, hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Nothing the three of us. Whether Peters has decided to turn up or not, I don't know. That is up to him. Lou, you are streaming tonight. It is Snakeskin series.
Sure is. Keep an eye out on our social media channels for the time. I think it'll be around 8 o'clock, but we'll see.
At Rest Around, all that.
Yeah, but obviously it's the winner takes all match. Don't know where this has come from. Winner takes all match. The Vince's versus Team Rest Around.
Yeah, some parallels to this, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a tag team cage match for the titles. This is the beauty of our world.
Ah, cool. Yeah.
There's a 6-pack. I think I guess it's fatal four early, but there's a 6-pack challenge women's match as well.
Yeah, you.
Yeah. So for the new women's title, Bacon, as you could say, so gonna be good.
Also, coming up soon, within the next couple of weeks, hopefully, our next month or two, is your debut on Cuts. So stay tuned for that.
Yes, cannot wait. Recording them on the 30th of November. I think they'll go out that week or the week
Have
after.
we released what Nitro are you doing yet? Have we said?
I don't think we've said anything, have we? It's the go-up show. It's a Halloween Havoc 95.
Of course it was. It's like written in the stars.
Yeah, I could not be more pleased that that's what's happened here. So it's the debut of the Yeti, amongst other things.
Obviously, they've listened to our review of the Halloween Havoc 95 and listened to the Christmas special and thought, who is the man, who is the special guest we can get in for that? Pick you.
There he is.
Could be anybody, could they?
Yeah, if you want someone covering 95, WCW.
Army Man. Blue Man, it's your man. Right, yeah. Well, apart from that, you are available as at Blue Man.
Sure am. Everywhere.
Find him. But yeah, follow us at Rest Around, twitch.tv/Rest Around. We're on there. I am at PRosM on Twitter. Google Rest Around. You will find us everywhere. We are on any podcast you can get. Mondays for the Rest and the Roundup, and Wednesdays for our main show. But Lou, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Russ.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. And join us next week, where for some reason we're doing another World War III.